I have some amazing news to share with you. It's really personal and significant. It's about a mission I started a long time ago, a quest of investigation and introspection aimed at addressing one of the age-old questions: does life continue beyond death? I wanted to confirm this truth not just through faith or hearsay, but through direct experience. And indeed, I was present at a location that affirmed this possibility, a location where I bore witness to the undeniable existence of life beyond death. One of the earliest messages I encountered on this path was conveyed through a medium named Grace Cooke. What made this moment even more remarkable was that the message she received had come from none other than the world-famous Arthur Conan Doyle. Many know Conan Doyle as the brilliant author behind Sherlock Holmes, but few are aware that he was not only a successful writer, but also a trained doctor and a fervent researcher, particularly in the realm of spiritual phenomena. His dedication to the study of the supernatural was not a side interest. He devoted as much time and seriousness to it as he did to writing and practicing medicine. Initially, Conan Doyle approached mysticism with the rational skepticism of a materialist and a man of science. Like many physicians of his time, he believed life ended in finality. He often used the analogy of a candle being extinguished. Once the flame goes out, so too does the soul, he thought. But that belief shifted dramatically. As he began to encounter stories of people communicating with the souls of the deceased, he, like many of us would be, was astonished. How could a man of such logic and intellect entertain these ideas? One experience began to crack the walls of his disbelief. A patient of his once invited him to a séance with a highly respected medium. He agreed to attend, partly out of curiosity and partly out of the desire to observe it from a scientific perspective. He later gave a detailed account of what happened. The medium, an older man, took up a pencil during the session and started scribbling rapidly. "Please tell him from me not to read Lehan's book," was the message that appeared. Conan Doyle was taken aback. He had never spoken out loud about it, but he had been considering buying a new book by Lehan all week. Since Conan Doyle had never said it to anyone, it was impossible for the medium to have discovered this through mind reading. The message had a profound effect not just on him, but also on others present at the séance. Each received messages that touched upon deeply personal matters, all delivered with uncanny accuracy. Following this, Conan Doyle participated in more spiritualist sessions. At first, he found them time-consuming and potentially misleading, but slowly he began to recognize their value. These sessions opened a door to something greater, a trust in life after death and a motivation for people to live nobler, more meaningful lives. His beliefs underwent a radical transformation after a deeply personal incident involving his son, Adrian Conan Doyle. Adrian had fallen gravely ill with pneumonia and lay in a coma. His breathing was faint, his consciousness dim, and he showed no signs of awareness. Conan Doyle and his wife kept vigil at his bedside, praying and hoping for a miracle. His wife especially cared for him with unwavering devotion, hardly sleeping, constantly checking his condition, holding his hand. One day she stepped out for just a minute to fetch a fresh towel. During that brief absence, their older son, Dennis, accidentally kicked over a tin box of toy soldiers. The small figures scattered loudly across the floor. Dennis, startled, quickly moved to pick them up. When Conan Doyle's wife returned, she was shocked to find Adrian, who had been motionless for so long, suddenly open his eyes. After a long silence, he said something that left them both in awe. "Dennis destroyed my soldiers." The sentence was straightforward and unambiguous. How could he have known, though? He had been comatose in a different room, unable to see or hear what had happened. During his illness, he had never spoken about those warriors. Unless we believe that Adrian's soul briefly departed his body and watched the scene from outside, unencumbered by physical constraints, there is no rational explanation. This experience made Conan Doyle reflect deeply on the boundary between life and death. It made him question the unseen world, the one we so often ignore. After this event, Conan Doyle officially renounced his materialist beliefs. He published an article in the magazine Lead, where he wrote that months of careful research had led him to conclude that the human intellect can indeed exist independently of the physical body. He admitted that he once dismissed ghosts and spirits, and even when he first heard such stories while in Africa, he had doubted them. But this changed. he began to actively explore realms beyond physical existence. Remarkably, even after his death, he continued his work. Through the medium Grace Cooke, he communicated messages from the other side. The first came 6 months after his death, on January 27, 1931. More followed over the next 18 months and were compiled into a book titled A Message to Humanity. In these messages, Conan Doyle shared his first impressions of the afterlife, offering insights into the nature of existence beyond death. He explained that the soul does not dissolve into nothingness. It retains its thoughts, feelings, and memories, just as in life. The deceased continue to live, only in a different form of reality, one invisible to earthly eyes. Before death, his beliefs had been based on faith and secondhand stories, but now he spoke with the certainty of one who had experienced it firsthand. He emphasized that death is merely a transition. A person does not lose their identity. They remain themselves. The soul retains its habits, attachments, and personality. This knowledge brought him peace. Conan Doyle explained that when he first died, he was unaware that he was dead. His loved ones were still visible and audible to him. He made an effort to communicate, to touch them, to be noticed. However, they were unable to see or hear him. The realization that he existed but could no longer interact as before was a harsh awakening. Eventually, he began to let go of the physical world. He described traveling to the place of his childhood, where he remained for some time. Then a ray of light guided him upward. During this ascent, he observed how the lower worlds were structured. He confessed that his previous ideas about the afterlife were overly romanticized. The lower realms were bathed in shades of gray, inhabited by souls consumed by unfulfilled desires. The environment was bleak, with half-formed buildings and lifeless trees. Only upon reaching the fourth astral plane did he begin to witness beauty. Nature was vibrant. Souls lived in families, and there was a sense of harmony. But this did not mean constant joy. Each soul had a purpose and work necessary for further development. According to him, there are 12 levels of existence after death. 6 astral and 6 spiritual. The 6th astral plane connects to the first spiritual one. These levels vary in energy, consciousness, and responsibility. Inhabitants of the higher realms, he said, possess remarkable abilities, such as seeing into the future. These beings have warned that the Earth is entering a phase of international chaos, with wars, conflicts, and natural disasters ahead. Yet all of this, they claim, is part of a great transformation meant to awaken humanity and lead to a more conscious and connected society. He even mentioned the potential rise of a new continent, previously hidden beneath the ocean, a place from ancient times that may emerge again. Such shifts, he said, would also cause other lands to sink, altering the Earth's geography and climate. But he emphasized that we often miss these signs. We're too absorbed in our daily lives to see the grand evolutionary process unfolding around us. Finally, Conan Doyle spoke of human fate and free will. No one is born by accident, he said. Each person has a mission, a unique path that brings growth and valuable lessons. While certain life events may be predestined, we are free to choose how we respond, with joy or suffering, with trust or resistance. The meaning of life, he concluded, is far simpler than people realize. We often complicate it by chasing wealth, fame, or knowledge. What truly matters is to live with a pure heart, sincere, natural, and open, like children. They greet each day with wonder, free from pride and fear. Those who live this way, with trust, simplicity, and kindness, are closest to the higher realms. Their souls, when they depart the physical world, rise easily into the light. The purest spiritual way is to live in harmony with the world. When our time here is over, we discover that we were never lost. Rather, we were only evolving and becoming closer to knowledge and reality.